Hey everyone, Random Randy here, coming to you from the Mom Cave. This is Yarn Talk, a weekly knitting and crochet podcast guaranteed to give you your recommended dose of fiber arts in 60 minutes or less. Usually less. If you think that your fiber intake might be low, then it might be in your best interest to subscribe to the channel to ensure that you can have enough projects to keep your hands and your heart full. So this is episode 53, I believe, 53? Yes, episode 53. It has been a week. You may have noticed that there are no more daily vlogs. Yay! All done for February. It is March 1st today. It is Thursday, so hopefully this will be going up before too terribly long tonight. So I have had an insane amount of orders in the past few days for my shop. Totally not complaining, so if the universe wants to keep sending me more, make it rain. Make it rain. I'm ready. I got my umbrella. I live in Washington. I've got my umbrella and my rain boots. Anyway, so I had 4 orders in 2 days. I got an order for a 0 lovey. I had an order for the cowl and the fingerless gloves that I think I might have talked about in the last episode of Yarn Talk, and if not in the last one, then it was in one of the daily vlogs. Honestly, all that stuff just kind of runs together, so I don't know when it was, but it was a few days ago. And gloves, cowl, that was one order. 3 octopi was another order. I'm going to pop up a picture of how those all turned out. So if you were on the live stream, you actually got to see the last one of them getting made and the second one stitched together. And then after those 3 orders of the 0 lovey, the octopi, and the fingerless gloves and cowl, I got another order for a 0 lovey. So I'm going to show you what I've got so far of that when I get to whips. But I'm going to start off with finished objects, which I just showed you a few of them that I no longer have in my possession, so there's that. I usually just toss anything I finish during the week into this bag that I got from Society 6. A girl that I know who writes and arts, yes, I made it a verb, designed it, which I thought was pretty cool. So I actually only have 2 other things finished on hand. One of them is this hat, which I'm pretty sure I made after the last Yarn Talk. I don't recall. Isn't that awful? I think that I showed this on one of the daily vlogs. Like I said, I get so confused because I show stuff I'm making and then I forget what I've told you guys about. So this is a loom knitted hat. This is 2 strands of worsted weight yarn held together, and I used one of the big boy round looms. And I used the Clover pom-pom maker, the biggest one that comes in the kit of 2, because they do have a jumbo that makes an even bigger pom-pom, but not this. This is the, I guess, 2nd largest size then. So there's this, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see in the yarn itself or not. I don't know if there's enough light on it, but this yarn, one of the strands is the Hirschner's holiday yarn that has the silver metallic thread running through it. And this other one is another Hirschner's worsted 8 that I used to make the narwhal for my tutorial that I did the other day. So there's one. And it's this loom that I was using. I think this is a 36 peg loom. Kind of wish I had the bigger one because I apparently have a giant head. And the hat is, you know, I could make it work, I guess, but ugh. I don't like really tight hats. I just don't. The other thing that I have done, which is exciting, but the yarn isn't going to go as far as I thought it would because, oh my word, this is huge. So I talked about one of my yarn goals for the year being doing some crochet cables, and BonnieBayCrochet, Bonnie Barker, she has several books with usually Celtic designs for crochet cables, but she actually has a YouTube channel, and about a month ago now she started a mystery Afghan sampler cal, and she released 5 different squares and just did another video showing the way that she put all of hers together and did an edging. I've only gotten 1 square done from the first pattern. She suggests doing 4 of each, so you'll have 20 squares, and that'll make it about Afghan, like, throw blanket sized. So this is quite big. This, which I have not woven the ends in on yet, is the first square. As you can see, it is quite sizable. I think she said that it's supposed to be about 14 inches square. But I used Premier Sweet Rolls in Wild Cherry for this, and as you can see, the striping turned out quite nice on it. I really like it, but I thought that it would be a good way to use up my clearance Sweet Rolls that I got quite some months ago now. Because I have Wild Cherry, I have the green one, I have a blue one, I have a yellow one, I have a few different shades of brown, and a gray and white. But I figured that one of these would take about half of a sweet roll, and it took closer to 2/3, so I don't think I'll even have enough for 3 squares between the 2 that I have of this particular one. I don't know. So I'm either going to have to just make do with 2 squares of each and find something else to fill in the space, or I'm gonna have to see if I can get the other ones somewhere else. I don't know, because I know that sometimes they seasonally discontinue colors, so I don't know if these being on clearance means that they're completely off the market in stores and you can only get them online or what. I have no idea. Anyway, this is just the first one, and the other 4 all have different designs, but this one is the braided look crossover cable. I don't know if I'll be able to get it close enough that you can see the stitches. But it is super cool. I was so impressed with it, honestly. Super, super cool. But yeah, this is 1 square. Huge. Hugely huge. Just 1. I see how only 20 of these could make a blanket, because it is giant. So that is all I've got for finished stuff. And I have 3 things I'm working on. One of which I should have done this evening so it can go in the mail tomorrow. So I guess I'll do that one first, get my phone out of the way. So this is one of the now most popular items in my Etsy shop that I make pretty frequently. Usually I have 1 or 2 made ahead of time just because. That way I don't have to rush to get them done. But my Etsy shop's been kind of dry for a couple of weeks, so I didn't this time. Figures I got slammed with 4 orders all at once. This is the start of one of the Nightmare Before Christmas 0 Ghost Dog Loveys. As you can see from the shape of his face, there's going to be the little red Rudolph nose and the big black eyes, and then there'll be the big dangly ears. And I have altered the pattern quite a bit in such a way that I really like the way mine look now. And apparently so do other people, because they don't even think twice about paying what I'm asking for them, which honestly is a lower price point than a lot of them of what I would say are slightly lesser quality on Etsy. But this is the body portion of it, which is the snuggly part. It's just a granny square, and I do an open shell stitch around the outside edge. I think it just makes it look a little more ghostly. Has that ruffly edge to it. So I should be getting this done tonight so it can go in the mail tomorrow for a certain someone, a certain Miss Lady who was naughty. She knows who she is, who ordered it from my shop. Thank you very much. By the way, you know who you is. And I've only got, why is it getting so annihilated? I've only got this much and 1 other ball of about the same size of this white. But I have a mill end Caron 1 pound. I only paid $3 for a Caron 1 pound skein of white. You can't go wrong there. So if you're ever in Joann's and you're near the mill end section, seriously, stop and look, because the stuff there, you never know what you're gonna get, and it could be something amazing. But seriously, I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to see it through the plastic with the light, but this is a skein of Caron 1 pound in a mill end bag. And the mill end yarn when I went there that particular day were only $3 for a bag. So yeah, definitely check it out because you never know what you're gonna find there. They usually have a lot of the big twist bulky yarns and stuff there. You never know. It is worth browsing. If you're a frugal bargain hunter like myself, you should definitely check because you never know what you're gonna find in there. So there's that. The other thing that I've been working on, which I can only work on I've found chunks right now. I'm not quite sure why. I guess just because it's a repetitive pattern, it just knocks me out. And I haven't been sleeping, so there's that. But I got the second sleeve of my His and Hers outdoor sweater started. I did the ribbing for the cuff, and I'm working on the increases for the arm. I've got three more increases, I think, before I get to the longer portion here. And unfortunately, I have really long arms, so I actually held up the finished sleeve to me, and I don't know if it's gonna fit me like it should. I probably should have checked it before I fastened it off, but you know, that's a body. That's another body, isn't it? Of course the last sleeve is buried at the bottom. Gimme. So this is the full sleeve. It's gonna be obviously seamed up here, and this is the shoulder cap. So, and this is made in Deborah Norville Everyday Yarn in the Lava colorway. But I think I'm gonna have to add a few rows of width to it around here, because I thought it was gonna be bigger around, well, I guess it does stretch a little bit, but it's not very much, but yeah. So there's the sleeve of the sweater. And I'm both excited and apprehensive about it. I really, really, really want to get it done. I was hoping that I would have it done by the time my husband gets home, which is going to be about Tuesday. I'm so excited. My husband's in the military, if this is your first time watching, and he's been gone for training for 5 weeks almost, going on 6. Then he's going to come home for 2 weeks, and then he's going to be gone again for who knows how long. Yay! But yeah, Deborah Norville Everyday Lava sleeve 2. There's this. Once I finish this sleeve, the only other part I have is to do the collar. And I don't really want to make it a turtleneck. I'm thinking I might make it more like a cowl neck, make it more drapey. I don't really like things that are that close on my neck, which is ridiculous because, you know, I've got a necklace that's right there and I don't think anything of it, but I don't like it when it's clothing constricting me, I guess. And just because I haven't shown it in a long time, I don't think I even showed it since I finished the second part. This is the body panel. The actual pattern is for making a regular sweater, and I wanted to make mine tunic length so I could wear it with leggings. Of course, now by the time I have it finished, it's gonna be too warm to wear. Oh, well, it will be ready for next season when maybe I'll be down 10-ish pounds if I'm lucky. So my sweater is whip number 2. And the third thing I have is actually something that I'm designing myself, because who doesn't just randomly decide to design a half circle shawl in the middle of the night when they can't sleep? So I finally have, oh, that's where my other row counter went. Unrelated. I finally got the row repeats and all the math right after fudging some parts of the first portion of it, which this one is going to be, you know, probably be mine, and if not, it still looks perfectly fine as far as saleability goes. So this is the first two pattern repeats of this shawl that I'm making, and I'm calling it the Hangetsu shawl, which means half moon in Japanese. And it is a half circle shawl, and it has some lacy portions. It has some chunkier portions. There's a little bit of texture to it. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for edging, but once I get this finished and I have everything finalized, I'm going to be looking for a few testers, probably like 5 people maybe. And this is going to be a pattern that will be available for sale. And I'm thinking of, to just sweeten the deal as far as making the pattern a paid pattern, I'm thinking of making a video to go along with it, so that if people pay for the written pattern, they're also going to get a video to go with it. So if that seems like something that you would be okay with paying a couple of bucks for, like maybe $4 or $5 for a pattern, if it had an accompanying video that other people couldn't access, let me know. Because I will still be doing plenty of free tutorials, but it would be nice to get a little bit of return for some of the work that goes into the insanity of producing videos. But seriously, when I was putting this all together and the math was just coming together, I had a moment where I was like, oh, yes! I was so excited about it. It was like 1 in the morning, and I had accidentally brewed myself a cup of black peppermint tea that I drank at about 7 o'clock p.m. Oops. So long story short, super excited about this. And this yarn is actually ice yarns. I've been trying to get through my ice stash lately. Last year I look at it as the investment year, and this year is the year where I'm using all of the stuff that I paid lots of money for last year. So that was the investment year. This is the year I'm going to get stuff back from all of that money I spent. But this is, as I said, ice yarns. Ice yarns, and this is the Magic Glitz, and their yarn doesn't have a color name or anything, but this is a DK yarn. It's 100 grams, 360 meters, 95% acrylic, 5% lurex, and I'm gonna see if I can get it close enough that you'll be able to actually see. There we go. So now you can actually see that the metallic thread in it has a greenish hue to it. This yarn is fantabulously gorgeous. I ain't even mad that it has pink in it. I'm not a pink person, but you know what? This yarn is so pretty, I don't even care. I've got 2 balls of it after this. I'm about halfway through this one, so it might take maybe a ball and a half to do a shawl, so about 150 grams maybe. And I don't really have any way of measuring the yardage that I'm using other than, well, it's a whole ball or a half a ball. So I'm just gonna go by weight. I think it's easier that way. But the pattern will have instructions that you can use with any weight yarn, any size hook, as long as the hook size is 1 to 2 millimeters larger than the recommended size for the yarn. I started this in the center portion using an eye hook, which was 1 millimeter larger than the recommended for a DK weight yarn, and ended up using a J hook instead for the rest of it. And I like the way the J hook portion looks a lot better. So bigger hook with bigger yarn, the better. So that is all that I have for finished objects and whips. I don't have any acquisitions really this week. I am planning on going on Joann this afternoon and getting a little bit, because they are having a pretty decent sale, and I haven't bought a big chunk of yarn since October. So I think I've done pretty good for the last few months. Aside from getting a big ball of white or black or red, I haven't really bought yarn. But in other crafty and stash down news, I have used up enough of my yarn and gotten rid of enough of it through giveaways that I actually managed to eliminate a whole other bin of space. I emptied a bin, I got it all packed into the last 2 bins that I have there, and got the rest of it put up in my shelving. So I'm working towards my goal of, by the end of this year, I would like to have used up enough of my yarn to have everything here and on the shelf that's over there. No more extra totes full of it underneath my table like I have right now. So other yarny stuff, you will notice that I have this on my mannequin. It is just a mesh top for covering up a swimsuit or wearing over a tank top if you're so inclined. I'm gonna be doing an Etsy update in the next couple of days. I realized that I haven't updated my shop since before Christmas, which is horrible. I have so much stuff that isn't in there. It is ridiculous. So I'm gonna be doing that before the weekend is out, now that I've got everything else taken care of and there's no more daily vlogs. Yay! At least until April, and then we'll see. I'm not sure if I'll be up to it because Adam will be gone again. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that is, I believe that's all I've got for now. I think. Yes, I think so. And my battery is about to die, so I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers. Hey there to all the returning veteran subscribers. And I will catch you all again next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.